The Motor Dream podcast is recorded on Camaragal land of the Eora Nation. It always was and always will be the lands of the First Nations of Australia.
This is the Motor Dream podcast.
Hello there and welcome to episode 36 of the Motor Dream podcast. Connor McNally with you, and this is the podcast where we can dream just a little about what our dream garage would be if money was no issue whatsoever. Well, it has been some weeks since our last episode, and it's largely due to yours truly being very busy with his broadcast commitments on SBS. But the podcast is back on track to carry you through to the end of the year, and I hope you can stick around for some very cool conversations with a wide range of people talking about cars and bikes and their dream garage. This episode has a distinctly Dakar feel to it, so things are going to get a bit dusty, a bit rocky, at times muddy, but more importantly, going to get a bit wild as we get to chat with one of Rally Road's most influential couples who have made their mark on the sport over the last decade. But first, here's the premise of what this is all about, especially for our new listeners to this podcast. I tell my guests that one day they wake up to discover that they've received a text telling them that they need to check their bank balance. They then open up the bank app and they suddenly discover that they're instant billionaires. As soon as they discover their newfound fortune, they get an email from this mystery benefactor that tells them that they can spend anything that they like and they can buy any car, bike or machine that they want. There is a catch though. They are only allowed 3 cars, bikes or machines in their dream garage. It sounds easy, doesn't it? But trust me, as my previous guests have discovered, it is very difficult to decide. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast itself on your favourite podcast platform. And please leave a review and tell us what you think of the show. And be sure to follow us on our socials, which we'll tell you more about at the end of the show. When it comes to motor racing, the pinnacle for any driver or rider is to win a prestigious event that holds particular significance due to its technical or physical challenges, history, and international recognition. Events such as the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the Suzuka 8 Hour, the Indianapolis 500, the Nürburgring 24 Hour, and the Bathurst 1000 are events that instantly come to mind. In terms of off-road racing, the Dakar Rally is the ultimate adventure conquest. Alongside the famous Baja races on the Baja California Peninsula in the United States and Mexico, the Dakar is considered the most recognised and most challenging events in the world. Originally conceived in 1979 by the late Thierry Sabine, the race was originally known as the Paris to Dakar before political unrest in Senegal in 2008 forced the event to move to South America in 2009, where it stayed before finding its new home in the Saudi Arabian desert in 2020. And it's on the sandy dunes of Saudi Arabia that my guests have tasted Dakar success over the last 5 years, broadening both their personal success as well as the awareness of Dakar in their native United States. Ricky Brabec is a 2-time winner of the Dakar Rally, having won it in 2020 and 2024 for the Monster Energy Honda team, and becoming the first and so far only American to have won the iconic 2-week-long Rally Raid event on 2 wheels. His partner Sara Price created Dakar history in the 2024 edition of the rally, becoming only the 3rd woman ever to win a stage in any discipline, winning the 10th stage in the T4 SSV class driving a Can-Am Maverick. She joined Christina Gutierrez and Jutta Kleinschmidt as the only other women to have done so to that point. Both originally from California, but now call the state of Arizona home, Brabec and Price have lived and breathed off-road racing all their lives. For Brabec, he began his career in BMX as a 5-year-old before transitioning to motocross and eventually into desert and endurance rallying in 2011. On top of his 2 Dakar wins, Brabec has won the prestigious Baja 1000 race in 2014. And for those following along at home, that's 1,000 miles, not 1,000 kilometres. For Price, she is considered by many as a trailblazer for women in the discipline of motocross and supercross. Before turning professional, she won 17 AMA motocross championships as a junior and amateur, before turning professional in 2010, where she became the first female factory rider for a factory team for Kawasaki. Throughout her 2-wheeled career, she featured prominently in the X Games, where she medalled on a number of occasions. She then switched to 4 wheels in 2016 and has raced across many disciplines in both the United States and abroad, including Australia, featuring in stadium super trucks, the Baja, and Extreme E for Chip Ganassi Racing. Now, her focus is fully fixated on winning Dakar, as well as making her mark on the water in the all-electric UIM E1 World Championship Series for Will Smith's Westbrook Racing. We recorded this interview back in March from their home base in Arizona, just weeks after the pair had completed the 2025 edition of the Dakar. Since then, there's been a lot happening for the pair, which I'll bring you up to date at the end of the show. And their dream garage? Let's just say that they already have what they need, and given the inventory that they have, it comes as no surprise. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy my chat with Ricky Brabec and Sara Price. Sara Price and Ricky Brabec, welcome to the Motor Dream podcast all the way from Arizona. It's great to have you guys on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us again. Looking forward to another great episode.
Fantastic.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's good to talk to you again.
It's good to talk to you again. The last time I caught up with both of you was just prior to the Dakar Rally for SBS here in Australia, and you were about to embark on, for you, Ricky, defending your Dakar crown, and for you, Sara, chasing your maiden Dakar crown. But Dakar didn't quite work out the way for both of you, not the way that you expected. Elaborate on how tough the 2025 edition of Dakar was.
Yeah, I mean, I had a broken leg in October, and I didn't really do any riding or training leading up to Dakar, so I knew it was going to be a little bit tough. But I'm happy to get to the Dakar, and I'm happy to get a finish in the Dakar. It's not really like the result we were looking for or hoping for, but at the end of the day, I'm happy I'm home and I'm safe. So can always work harder for the next one.
In Sara, in your case, you had a brand new machine. You were racing in the SSV class in T4 for Can-Am as a factory driver for the first time, but a brand new machine just didn't quite work out the way you wanted. You had a lot of issues, particularly during the 48-hour chrono, and you had to withdraw from the rally, even though you still continued on, but you didn't complete the full Dakar experience, as they called it. So it must have been quite a disheartening experience at that point in time, but you still managed to win a few stages.
Yeah, definitely. It was a big bummer, but the Can-Am Maverick R is fast and it's a great car. But yeah, it's its first Dakar, and we had some issues on the 48-hour chrono, and it was a bummer stage to have issues on because I didn't just miss one stage, I missed two, so I got like max penalties, which caused me to never be in contention to have a good placing and then be in the experience. So the great thing is that I was still able to go out there though and show our pace and show our speed, and we ended up getting 3 stage wins, so that was really good. And I was happy about that because Dakar is my dream to win it, and I want one of those trophies right there one day. I get to look at his now every day, but yeah, and now I think people know it's not a fluke that the first year we won a stage and now we backed it up.
What actually happened on that 48-hour chrono? Because it was quite a weird situation for you. So elaborate on what happened.
Well, actually, on stage 1, we had some aftermarket fuel pumps fail on us. And so those fuel pumps, I think, caused a lot of issues. And so on the 48-hour, our car just stopped. There was nothing we could do about it. So, yeah, I think it came down to just being lean and the fuel pump issues that just caused kind of this, snowball.
It was like starving of fuel. Was that the case?
100%. Yeah, I was starving to fuel the whole first day. And obviously, you can't change motors or anything. And so, yeah, we had to just keep going, and the car was running good. And then the fuel pump issues came into play again. And then it just went kaboom.
Yeah, I know how much you're determined to win Dakar in 2026. We were chatting just prior to the start of the record, and you said you want to do Dakar again. Are you agreeing now with Ricky when he says it's more love than hate? It's a love-hate relationship, but more love and hate? Do you feel like it's that kind of relationship that you have with Dakar now?
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely love it. I thrive off of it. And so, for me, it's a little different than Ricky's scenario because for me, it takes a lot to get there. I still have to come up with funding and a sponsorship. And for me, that's the hardest part. I do everything I can to train and be ready to optimize the opportunity of being there. But once I get there, it's kind of like this relief and all this weight's off my shoulders. Okay, we're finally here and I get to do what I want to do. It's so much work to get there for me. But yeah, I can't wait to keep going for it because I'm going to until one day I get that win.
And Ricky, you've won it twice before, 2020, 2024. I know how much it would mean for you to win another Dakar. How frustrating was your campaign this year compared to previous years?
Yeah, I wanna win again. I know it's possible. I mean, it wasn't very frustrating. I accepted the fact that I was injured and didn't have any time on the bike. So
Mm.
I'm definitely looking forward to a healthy year and working to make the bike better this year for 26 Dakar. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of work to do, and yeah, the KTM boys are riding well. So for us, we just got to stay on our toes and stay healthy and arrive to Dakar 100%.
Actually, I was watching the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, where you actually finished second in the event recently behind Daniel Sanders, who not only won Dakar, but won Abu Dhabi very recently. And it was interesting to see how much of an improvement your riding was from Dakar to now. Like, you obviously look a lot more healthier, you're a lot more fitter. Do you sometimes wish you had that fitness going into Dakar if you hadn't had that broken leg?
The fitness was there 100%. The leg was the issue. I broke my tibia plateau, so it's like right where your femur, uh, knee, and your tib and fib kind of meet.
Hmm.
And yeah, I got two plates and 12 screws. So that's what was hindering me in Dakar. Mobility wise and impact wise.
Hmm.
So after Dakar, I didn't ride for 3 weeks after Dakar before I rode a motorcycle again, just to give myself some rest and maybe heal what was damaged just from Dakar. But now riding the bike from Abu Dhabi to now feels a lot better than when I felt in Abu Dhabi.
Hmm.
And yeah, Dakar was just it was more of managing myself to not hurt my leg to exit the rally. So yeah, the fitness isn't an issue at all. It was more or less my injury. So now, looking forward, I'm just looking to stay healthy and arrive at Dakar 100% with zero injuries.
Absolutely. Well, the next event you're going to be doing, if all goes to plan, is the rally in South Africa. The first time the Safari Rally in South Africa, which is round 3 of the World Rally Raid Championship. You still have a chance to win the World Rally Raid Championship, and I don't think an American has won the World Championship at that level. So, what would it mean for you to win a World Championship?
Yeah, the World Championship would be super cool. This might be the first year I've done every single round. But I mean, the main goal is Dakar, not necessarily the championship. I think the championship would be really cool, but Dakar's bigger and better. So the main focus is always Dakar, and then the other rounds are just kind of training and working with the team and working on the bike. But yeah, just from my Abu Dhabi performance and results, I'm third right now in the championship, and not very far from second. Daniel won the first 2 rounds, so he's got a nice gap, but hey, there's plenty of racing left and anything can happen. So yeah, we'll just keep fighting for the rest of the year and see what happens and go from there.
Sarah, in your case, you're not doing the World Rally Raid Championship, obviously because of funds, but you're doing something completely different. You're doing obviously off-road racing back home in the United States, but at the same time, you're doing offshore boat racing, electric offshore boat racing with the E1 series, which is a very high-profile series backed by a number of high-profile celebrities, and you're driving for a team owned by Will Smith, the actor. That's a very, very cool concept. How did that all come about to get a ride in the E1 series?
Yeah, no, E1's been a blast, and super ironic, but that it is Will Smith's team I'm on. It's super cool. But the same owners actually owned Extreme E.
Yes.
And so they kind of just asked me, they're like, hey, you want to try this? And so I said, yeah, right away. Because, something like me and Ricky both grew up going to the desert in the winters and then going to the river in the summers. And so I was very familiar with water, but never raced on it. And so I was first up to say yes and got trained right away. And they actually wanted me to do it last year before Dakar, or the first year I did Dakar, so not this year, but last year. And they were getting so close to Dakar time, and I was like, man, I need to focus on this. And so I actually said no to E1 before Dakar. But then right after, Will's team came in a race late, and so I got the opportunity to do it again, and I was super thankful and excited. So it's been great. But yeah, it's been a good time.
What's the difference in terms of driving a boat, like operating a boat, compared to driving a buggy or an off-road vehicle? Like, you've done stadium trucks in Baja in the past, so you know what the conditions are like. But racing on water is a very different concept altogether, and it's probably something that you've had to really retrain your own, like, I guess, periphery and just understanding of racing on water.
Yeah, the E1 boats, they call them race birds. They're electric hydrofoil boats. So it's not like a normal boat you can compare it to anything. It's one of a kind. And so we're all kind of learning how to drive this boat at the same time.
Hmm.
They're super touchy and finicky, so you're very busy inside the cockpit. And yeah, you're basically just trying to feel everything you possibly can. And you get smooth water, you get rough water, just like you do in off-road racing. And so you kind of read that terrain a little bit. The one thing I have had to learn is like the currents and stuff like that will cause our boat to come off the foils. And so it's very, very easy to fall off the foils. So we're constantly just inside for the 20 minutes of racing we're doing. We're clenching every single muscle, just like, don't fall off, don't fall off. And yeah, we're trying to figure it out. But we have an amazing team, and I have my teammate Lucas. He's amazing, and I'm just grateful. It's a great dynamic.
How are you coping with the capsizing, or with all the training of going upside down when you capsize? Have you got used to that concept yet?
Yeah, I've had to do it twice now, the submersion testing, but yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be that gnarly once I was looking at it, and then when I did it, I was like, oh crap, you get all sort of out of whack because you're getting upside down and your body like loses its lifeline of air. And so you just react differently than anything else. Like when you crash a car, you're kind of calm and you're like, well, is this happening? This sucks. But then when you're doing that, you're like, oh, I don't have actual air. So this is a whole nother ball game. But yeah, it's been pretty fun to actually do it.
Ricky, is this something you want to do once you retire from racing two wheels?
It looks fun. It's different, and I'm always in for trying something different. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of options I'd like to explore when I'm done motorcycle racing. But yeah, I'm up for anything more or less.
You almost got to drive one of the boats, but then he got hurt.
Yeah, I almost was going for it, to get the licensing and stuff, but then I broke my leg like the week before I was supposed to be doing this. So Dakar was more important to me, and fixing my leg that was hanging off was more important.
I want to touch a little bit about you guys and your careers and how you got to where you are now. For you, Ricky, I love the fact that you started your career in BMX. I love that's like such a cool sport, and it's now an Olympic sport. And the successes of people like Saya Sakakibara here in Australia. She's done great things for the sport. But do you feel like you were lucky to be a part of such I guess, a cool sport, an extreme sport, as some people call it, growing up in California?
Yeah, I mean, BMX racing was cool, and I still ride. I mean, I don't ride BMX. I ride mountain bikes quite often.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, no, BMX was cool. I wouldn't take anything away from that. It was difficult for sure, and it was fun, and we traveled a lot doing that. So yeah, it's cool to kind of be on two wheels as from my childhood all the way up until where I'm at now. So I mean, everything I've done from I don't know when I was just a kid riding my bicycle around has led me to be where I'm at today. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see, I guess, like the paces of life and what came from it, this far.
Who were your heroes when you were racing BMX? Was it like Bob Haro, who does a lot of freestyle BMX? Was he one of your heroes back in the day?
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, I don't know if I even had like BMX heroes because I just raced BMX and I was like 6 years old up until 10 and 12 years old, and I didn't really know, very many people.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the hero thing in those days were tough.
For you, Sarah, you've raced on motorbikes as well. Like both of you did grow up racing motorbikes in California. Sarah, you're very, very lucky in the sense that you were recognised by Monster Energy from the beginning of your career, and you became a monster ambassador. And you went on to do the X Games. You won 17 AMA national championships as an amateur before you turned professional in 2010. You got a factory ride for Kawasaki in that year, and you're the first woman to score a factory ride for a manufacturer in the sport. I mean, you're a pioneer in that level of motorsport. When you look back on what you did in motocross and supercross, do you look back on that thinking that you kicked some butt as you went along during your career? Because you continue to kick butt now. So yeah, I just want to know how you look back on that.
Motocross was everything to me. Growing up, that was all I wanted. I wanted to be a part of I actually wanted to be a part of Team Green was my like dream. And then let alone I went to the next level and became a factory racer for Kawasaki. And yeah, it was amazing. It's, that's what I put my every single day into when I was little. Like I didn't even go to school. I had a teacher travel to these nationals, and I went to school on the road at the races, and that was my life, like training every single day in the gym and then getting on the bike every single day at the track. And yeah, I do. I look back and I appreciate all those days because it taught me so much. And I do not think that I would be the racer I am today in a vehicle without all that training. Because obviously on a motorcycle, like it's a lot more in depth and you have to train every single day in order to be good at what you do. And we don't necessarily get that ability in the vehicles. And so reading terrain and being able to push and kind of know your mental strength too and the physical side of it, it's just a great foundation for anyone. Like for instance, if Ricky does race cars sometimes, but he's going to be fast no matter what when he gets in the four wheels because he has a two wheel side, and that just grooms any racer to be a good driver. And so, yeah, I was fortunate to have that background and have the parents that supported me and get to turn professional the day I turned 16 and kind of go through the ranks. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's cool at Monster, like they've been with me from the beginning, like since I started the amateur nationals, a part of Team Green, and it was Monster Energy Kawasaki at the time, and the same thing with the factory team, and then now still being with Monster, achieving my new dream of going to Dakar and now wanting to win it.
How old were you when you both fell in love with racing bikes? Do you remember that? Do you remember the key moment in that childhood that you went, "Yep, this is what I want to do"?
Yeah, it was on Christmas morning when I got my first 50 and I almost whiskey throttled it into my uncle's brand new Lexus.
How old were you when that
Um,
happened?
I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow. And what about you, Ricky?
Oh, I think I got my first. I got my first motorcycle. I was 4 years old.
Wow.
I got a PW 50.
That's really cool. Was it a Yamaha? Was it Kawasaki or?
No, it was Yamaha. It was white and purple.
Wow.
Old school.
Oh, I've seen the pictures, the old school
Yeah.
baby pics.
Yeah, I have baby photos of me on my birthday with the bike.
Oh, that's so cool. I actually got
It's awesome.
Actually, I'll have to find it and I'll share it with you at some point. But we were given by Daniel Sanders' parents because they were there when Chucky won Dakar, and very similar story to you guys. Chucky got his first bike. It was a Pee-wee 50 as well on Christmas morning in the year 2000. He was only 5 at the time, and yeah, I think it was the same kind of feeling that you guys had, like just. I guess bursting with excitement, first bike, first opportunity to ride, and yeah, I can see the enthusiasm that you guys have when you talk about it. So like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's like for me when the first car, it's like as soon as you get bitten, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you started racing, did you ever imagine that you would get to the heights of racing on a national or even an international level at this stage in your career?
No.
I don't think anyone does, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
all these kids have dads that push them to be what their dad wants them to be, but I would say not even 80% of them make it to where their dad wants them to go. I wouldn't say it's like luck of the draw, but it's who wants it more, who's going to be more hungry than the people around them that's going to make it. So, yeah, I don't think anyone expects to be someone until they're there. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
But for me, I never even expected to do one single Dakar rally, and I've done 10.
Actually, I want to ask the question, what inspired you to actually go from doing motocross into endurance competition? What made you make that switch all those years ago?
Just was doing motocross because motocross from BMX just seemed right. And then my parents bought a river house where we currently live now. And our neighbors, like 4 houses down, we just, I don't know, started talking to them. The next thing you know, they invited us to camping in the desert. And then after a few times with that, they said, "Oh, there's a race. You want to try racing?" And I just said, "Yeah, whatever." Race. And then I enjoyed it. It was like it was an endurance race. I liked it and I enjoyed it. So then I just started racing off road, and then didn't know anything about Dakar Rally, just watched it on TV. And then one day I just got a phone call asking, "What about Dakar? What do you think? Would you like to try it?" And I just said, "Nope, don't know anything about it, but yes, I'd like to try it." And once I said yes, I just was hooked and still here today.
What about you, Sarah? Like, obviously you raced up until about 2012, 2013 when you made the switch to four wheels, and you've done stadium super trucks, which we've talked about in the past when we spoke for SBS, and you've also done Baja. You've raced here in Australia supporting the supercars on the Gold Coast and in Adelaide, and I know how much you want to come back to Australia at some stage. But what does it mean to make that transition to four wheels and have a go at an endurance off-road? It's a completely different mindset to what you've done in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm a big goal setter. So, like, I dream very big. And, Ricky can say that about our shop we're sitting in right now. He's just like, oh boy, another thing she wants.
Yeah.
But it's, I dream big for sure. And when I set my mind to something, I kind of have the blinders go on and I just go full bore at it. And, with motocross, it was really tough at the end. It was like, how am I going to make a living doing this? There wasn't much support in racing the motocross for females. And it was a really difficult time for females in motocross. And so it's kind of like, all right, well, my whole childhood of training for this, I need to kind of pivot and figure out something else. So I started auto paint business and then bought my first house and then got my first off-road vehicle. And then the whole thing started over again from the grassroots of making it on dirt bikes from the bottom up, and then the same thing from the bottom up in cars. And it is kind of crazy. Like, I kind of have to stop and smell the roses every once in a while and look back and see how much I have accomplished because, I'm always so focused on accomplishing more. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love this sport. I love motorsports. I'm going to be that 80-year-old woman, racing probably a wheelchair, but
not
I'll always
if
be racing.
not if Ricky has something to say about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll probably be in like little mini boats on the river racing, hitting each other or something.
Bumper boats.
Bumper boats. I like the sound of
Yeah.
that, actually. Can I just touch on a subject that is not often talked about? But during your time when you were racing motocross, you actually had a period where you were suffering injuries and you had to take a break. But to keep yourself, I guess, active and getting income coming in, you went down the path of entering a pageant, like a beauty pageant competition. We talked about this when we were prior to our chat, when we did the pre-event stuff for SBS, but we didn't mention it on air. But I want to bring it up because it's so bizarre. Well, not bizarre, but it's so left field. It's a story to be told. Why?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I had dislocated my shoulder at X Games, and so I needed to have another surgery. And I've had two reconstructions on my shoulder from motocross. And I knew I was going to be down for a while. My first surgery took a while. And so I was like, okay, well, what can I do that can provide good marketing? Because, like I said, it was really hard to make a living as a female in motocross. And I really wanted to use like that as, okay, well, this is my last shot to really try to market that, like, I'm a marketable female, but then also, I'm a badass on a bike. And so I thought, okay, this is a good way to also, stay fit and not let myself go and get a little chunky in the off time while I had a broken shoulder. And so, yeah, I took it on. I got invited to do it. And I was like, whatever, this could only be a good experience or maybe not a good experience and never do it again. And so I did learn a lot from it, to be honest. It's not something I want to continue doing, but it was quite the experience, to say the least. And I won my first competition, actually, which was crazy. And then I went to the Miss California competition. But yeah, it was an experience.
Maybe that's next for me.
You can, I don't know. I wonder if they have a male one.
I'm pretty sure they might do. I mean, I don't know, but I'd like to see Ricky give. I mean, I'd like to see Ricky have a go.
Same.
Actually, when you look back on that, do you look at what the current generation of women competitors do now? Like, do you think there's better avenues to promote women in motorsport, compared to what you did, say, 10, 15 years ago? Do you think it's a much easier route, or is it still just as difficult for women to get their break in motorsport?
I think in today's world, there is a lot of support for females in motorsports. There's a lot of support in females in general, right? I've never used the fact I'm a female to get myself any further in anything. I've always just wanted to be the racer and I wanted to be the best, right? And so, like, I remember when I was a little girl and people were like, like, oh, she's fast for a girl. I get so mad. And I just was like, no, I want to be the best. Like, I'm going to be better than you, like, whatever the case is. And so, but today, it's awesome. There is some fast girls out there, and there's a lot more of them coming up. And that's what we need, like in a room of 100 racers, if there's one female, they're most likely not going to get chosen for an opportunity. And so if we can get more females in the room, I think that's a huge step for females in motorsports. And we're getting there. And I think there's a lot of outlets that are really advertising and showing the hard work that, we're putting in and kind of our stories, And so, yeah, I think it's awesome. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for women. And I'm excited to, be in a position to pave the way and hopefully encourage others to do the same thing as me, because it wasn't easy to get to Dakar. And I know a lot of other females are dreaming of it. Not only females, but other Americans are dreaming of it. And I think when I took that stand and was like, I'm going, spending my whole savings to get there, whatever it takes, and I'm making it happen. And then now looking, like I've gone to 2 Dakars already, and like that's crazy to me. I never ever dreamed of that happening. I thought my first one would be it, but yeah, I think it's awesome.
I think it's really cool that you guys are trailblazers in many ways. I mean, for you, Ricky, I mean, you're one of, I think you're one of a few Americans that have won Dakar outright, and I guess you're the poster boy for Honda in terms of the endurance racing kind of scene, which is great because it promotes the Honda brand across the world. You do fantastic with your off-road stuff. And Sarah, in your case, you're a trailblazer for winning a Dakar stage. You're the 3rd woman to do so, and this year we had a 4th woman do that in Dania Akil in T3, which I think was fantastic. And in the sense for Dania, she was the first woman from Saudi Arabia to win Dakar, and up until 2018, women in that kingdom were not allowed to drive cars at all. It was illegal up until about 7 years ago. So for that to happen, I mean, a lot has changed, and for Dania to do that, it was really, really cool.
Yeah. I love Dania. She's amazing. And we were at Dakar, forget what stage it was. It was one of the ones at the end. We were dicing it out the whole entire day in the dunes. It was really cool. We were with each other the entire day. But she's a great talent. She's a great person. And it was super awesome to see the success. And Saudi's changed a lot, I think, for sure. And it's been really fun to kind of get educated on the country and their morals. Like I really respect them. And I think, a lot of people they aren't educated on the knowledge of what everything means over there. And just because we don't have it here. And yeah, it's been fun and it's been really cool. I love the country.
If there's one event that you want to do worldwide, what would it be? Would it be something like a Round Australia event, like come back to Australia, do the entire lap of the country? Because they used to do Round Australia trials here in Australia probably about 20-25 years ago. It hasn't been done for a long time. Would you like to do something like that?
I'd like to do the Fink in the top category. That'd be cool.
Well, Fink's coming up in June. You might. I don't know if you'll be able to do it this year, but I know you've had your eye on doing Fink for a while. So, what class would you do? Would you do it in the outright class or in a buggy, or what would you like to do it in?
He's more the buggy guy. I would like
Really?
to do it in a truck.
I'm surprised, Ricky, you're not wanting to do Fink on a bike. You want to do it in a buggy.
Yeah, no, I would love to do it in a truck for sure, but on a bike would be cool. Just those guys, like the local guys, have so much more experience down there that I'd probably get my ass kicked. But it would be a good experience.
That would be really, really cool. What would you do? Like a stadium truck? Like do something like Toby Price did?
Yeah, like a trophy truck.
Wow. Why a trophy truck? What would make it so cool?
Well, I heard Fink's rough, and so I think that's what would make sense is that would be like, I'd want to go there and go for the overall, and I think you'd have to be in a trophy truck to do that.
Yeah, totally understand. Although you could do what Toby did a few years ago, try and do it on both on a truck and a bike. He actually did it.
I saw that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. But he has it memorized. Like Ricky said, like if he went there on a bike, Ricky wouldn't know the way the Fink goes, and like those guys there, like Toby, he has that memorized the back of his hand,
Yeah, I think it's crazy, but I mean, Toby's Toby. Like he just goes in it balls deep, and he just goes for it. So would you go and spend all that money to get a private plane, fly to, get to the finish line, get on a plane, go back to the start line, and jump on a bike or jump in a car, or yes or no?
No, I'm only racing one thing at a time.
I would.
I've
been on the bike for a while though, so I might need to train at that.
Would you do it on a bike?
Probably not, to be honest.
Fair
I don't
enough.
push myself on the bike anymore. I have too much to lose on the driving side. I'm
Yeah,
I don't want to get hurt.
That's
So I'm
true.
doing a stunt job and I have to get on a bike. That's about the only time I do, or when he drags me out to do single track. But like I've been a moto girl my entire life. I didn't go out in the desert on a dirt bike, and I didn't do single track and all that. So when I do go out with him, I'm crashing everywhere.
Oh, did you really want to admit that you crash all the time?
Dude, last time I endoed so hard, and he was way ahead of me. And he's like, yeah, I turned off my bike. I couldn't hear you. And I'm like, yeah, I was underneath of it. And I was like, I don't know how I'm not hurt right now.
Oh, fun. Just one more question before we move on to why you like cars and bikes. You two live these days in Arizona. You guys grew up in California originally, but you've now got your home base in Arizona, and that's where you've got your shop set up. So elaborate a little bit more about your home setup. Like obviously you run your whole operations from your Arizona base, but it's also good for you as well because you actually get to train and keep your fitness up with your endurance riding out in the Arizona desert.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. We have a shop with all of our toys and race toys in here, and we're living in here. So now, yeah, we just wake up and we get to look at all the things we have, and work kind of never stops because we sleep where we work and we work where we sleep. So it's cool. It's been a long process. California was cool, but doesn't seem that cool anymore. Every time we go back, we don't really enjoy it. So I think we're happy here, and makes it nice because I was living in the desert in California, and now we're living in the desert in Arizona. So it's more or less the same thing. We can do whatever we need to do just from the garage. We don't really have to drive anywhere if you don't want to.
And we have a river.
And yeah, in the summertime, it gets fairly warm here. So we have the river just 100 meters away from the shop. And this is really nice for the summertime and really nice for the dogs. And also friends and family come visit us. And we have like some sleeping quarters here. So just makes it year round nice.
What's the difference between the Californian desert and Arizona? Like, is there any subtle differences compared to where you've been in the past?
Not. I mean, on the Arizona, so we're like 150 meters from California border.
Right.
Our property like backs up to California border, so we're on the border. So we look at California.
Yeah. So the river that's on our property is in Arizona, and then right across the river is California. So, yeah, the riding here on the Arizona side is, I mean, fairly fairly rough and kind of, to be honest, kind of shitty because there's a lot of side by sides, and the side by sides can't cross the river unless they drive on a trailer. So, the California desert where I used to live is literally just right across the river. I could drive 2 hours and be in my hometown, or I can ride from the shop and be in the same desert that I grew up racing in. But the Arizona side is just full of side by sides, and it's just so rough and like kind of dangerous if you're not in a side by side. So we don't really ride motorcycles on the Arizona side. We ride motorcycles on the California side.
Right.
And then side by sides we do more or less on the Arizona side just because it's more fitting for a side by side.
Can I say, I had a hot lap with Toby just prior to Dakar last year as part of my media commitments with SBS, and going in a Can-Am side-by-side, he can hustle that thing. So we did a lap around what was called the Black Rock Motor Resort, which is just outside of Sydney, and that was his major sponsor for the event. And I was kind of holding on. Not that I was scared, but it was just, it was kind of going into an unknown commodity, not knowing what to expect. And Toby can hustle a Can-Am side-by-side. Like, I now know what you're talking about, Sarah, with that those things can really, really go hard. And I have a newfound respect for those kind of machines. They are so, so cool. I can see why you're such a huge ambassador for it.
You're an X3 too, and so picture the Maverick R. So it's even stepped up more. It has anti-lag, and it's freaking fast. Like out of the box, we're going 100 miles an hour, and that's like, I don't even know what that would be in kilometers, but
160.
Yeah, 160 out of the box, completely stock. Anyone can go buy it, and that's how fast you can go. And you have incredible suspension, and it's just insane anymore. Like, everyone, when I got my Can-Am Maverick R's, like, I had everyone around me buy them too, because it's just that cool car. And they're so capable. Like, no wonder why Dakar restricts us, because they don't want us beating all the top big cars,
This is the Motor Dream Podcast.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
You guys love your cars and you love your bikes. You love things off-road, which is really, really cool. But I really want to get to know a little bit more about what makes you guys tick when it comes to motoring. So I'm going to start by asking the first car or bike that you drove.
Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger. Okay.
Ecoline 150 van with nothing in it. My dad still has it today.
Okay, so hang on a sec. Ricky, are you a Ford guy or a Chevy guy or GM guy?
I drive Fords.
Pretty sure a Ford guy.
Yep, okay. And what was it? An Ecoline, was it?
It was a Ford, yeah. And I actually still have a Ford. I have a Ford Tremor 250.
Okay, so Ford household right there. That's really, really cool. Do you remember
we have a BMW.
We?
Well, I have a BMW, and he has a Mercedes van.
Mercedes vans, yeah, but I'm a BMW guy too. So sorry, Ricky. So
I just don't have the BMW. It's hers.
So I have a BMW M2 competition, and I got it from my friend Boris Said.
Boris Said,
it's
yes.
Manual, and it's badass. That thing's so fast. That's the fastest I've been in a vehicle. Me and Ricky were going down the highway going 160 in it, and it had more, but I was like, this is probably not very smart. Let's go slower.
I think Boris's influence comes from Paul Morris, would you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you've got a lot to answer for, Paul. Do you remember the first car you guys owned when you were younger?
Oh, that was our first car.
Oh, really?
The van.
The van.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The first road trip that you remember?
Dude, come on.
Going to my first amateur national in Texas.
I don't even know that answer.
We'll accept that. We'll accept that. What was your answer again, Sarah?
Going to an amateur national in Texas,
What was
I have to say.
what was so significant about that trip?
It was my first big dirt bike race. I raced locally, but then everyone locally was like, "You should take her to the nationals." To my dad, and my dad got off work. He hopped in the motorhome with me, and we went and we did our first national, and I ended up winning it. And so that was like a huge turning point in my life because then I was like, "Oh, I want to race," and I want to race at this level. But yeah, I guess like I don't know. Our first road trip together was probably Iceland.
Iceland.
Yeah. We did a
Really?
whole trip around Iceland and it was fun. We had no plans at all. Ricky was there doing a commercial and we got this little rental car and we couldn't even fit his gear bags in it. And so they're like in between us. And we totally messed up on the rental car and we ended up doing a whole trip around the island and like getting almost stuck. We destroyed that car.
Oh no! But it must have been fun at the same time.
It was a blast.
What were you doing in Iceland, if you don't mind me asking?
I was doing a Africa Twin commercial shoot for
Right.
Honda.
Okay, and actually, I was reading up. Sarah, you're actually a trained stunt person as well, which is actually rather cool.
Yeah, so that's actually my main source of income is I'm part of the Screen Actors Guild Union as a stunt performer, and so a lot of movies and a lot of car commercials you see today, worldwide and nationally, is I do a lot of them.
Did you get an opportunity to do Mad Max Furiosa when it was done here in
I
Australia?
didn't, no, I didn't get the opportunity to do that. A big movie I did, a lot of people are familiar with is Jumanji.
Oh yes,
Um,
yeah.
So I was gonna be Roundhouse's stunt double, and then yeah, a lot of the deals I get is commercial based. So it's 1 or 2 day shoots because with racing it's hard to commit to the movies because they take months, and so yeah.
Do you remember the first time you guys changed a tire?
I mean, I don't remember when, but yeah, I remember it was pretty miserable.
It's always a
I
miserable
don't
experience.
remember.
It's always a miserable
Dude, if you don't
experience.
know, if you don't know how to do a tire change the right way, it's freaking difficult. Then you get frustrated, like changing a dirt bike tire. Dude, when you're 14 years old, you have no idea what's the right way and what's the wrong way, and then you get frustrated. Yeah, it's gnarly.
Yeah, I don't like.
But now I got a Rabiconda, next level.
Good answer. I like it. What about the kind of music you listen to when you're on a road trip? What's your go-to?
You would be all 30
More like punk rock style stuff.
Right.
everything. Yeah,
Everything.
we are all over the board on that.
She's all over the board, not me. Her playlist is a mess.
Well, is it Cardi B or something like that, or
Yes, yes.
Megan
And the
Thee
next song
Stallion?
will be like Shania Twain or some
Oh,
shit.
oh my god.
No.
Megan Thee Stallion, maybe, or
Yes.
And then we'll go to some punk rock, and then it will go back, or then it'll go to country. It's all over the place.
oh, it's virtually the same. But when I drive with my wife, it's like R&B and electronic and all that, and then you put rock on, and yeah, it's all over the. And then there's Frankie Valli of all people being played all the time. So
You want to listen to 30 seconds of every song ever made? Drive with Sarah.
yeah. Okay. Did you remember getting your license first go?
Oh yeah, I failed. Well, no, I didn't fail the driving side. I failed the written side twice. They told you had to drive with 1 foot, and I missed. I was always taught to drive with 2 feet because my dad always like taught me how to race drive.
Hmm.
And so like the dumb questions I could not get right because they're super simple for normal people, but I was always thinking racing, and so I failed my written twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ricky, can you top that? Did you get first go or did you fail?
First time.
Oh, Sarah.
First time driving, first time written test.
That guy.
You've been humbled, Sarah. You've been humbled big time. All right. Best road trip you've been on? Would it be that Iceland trip?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, cool. Who taught you how to drive or ride?
My dad taught me how to ride for sure.
What about you, Sarah?
Yeah. My brother and dad.
Okay. And what about driving?
Brother and dad. My dad used to race a class 10 class in off-road. So that was kind of the roots of my dad's racing. And then my brother got into motocross. And that's why I got into motocross. And then we went back to my dad's roots, which was racing cars. So it's kind of full circle.
What about eating in cars? Do you actually do that?
Eating
Mm-hmm.
in them?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I love the mixed answer. So you like eating...
Absolutely not.
Oh, boy. Okay, reasons for, reasons against. Ricky, I'll start. Why against it?
Because I don't want to clean other people's mess up out of my vehicles when they spill their food.
Are you pointing your finger at Sarah because of that?
No, just anyone. I like to have clean stuff, and I don't want people eating inside my stuff in my trucks.
Okay, and what about you, Sarah?
Sometimes you're too busy. You just got to do it all at the same time.
Okay, I'll take that as an answer. All right. And lastly, do you actually name your cars or bikes? Do you actually give them pet names?
Sarah used to. I don't.
I used to. I don't anymore. I feel like we're swapping out vehicles and cars and stuff so often now that it's kind of all right. And it ends up having its own name. Well, no, you, corn dog. You named your truck.
Luke named it.
Oh, well, his friend named his old school Ford he has, and it's called Corn Dog. But no, I don't have, my truck, I just call it the Tremor. Yeah.
Did you, that Paul Morris named his race cars when he was racing?
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, no, he named his, I can't remember. I think one of his supercars that he raced I think it was called Dale, after Dale Earnhardt. So
yeah.
So I think he named a couple of them. I can't remember some of the names he gave his cars, but yeah, one of them was named Dale after Mr. Earnhardt. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't for a while. Maybe I need to take that up again.
Maybe you should. Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So if anyone knows any good names, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Sarah, Ricky, appreciate you coming on, but this is the reason why we got you on for this pod. You wake up one morning and you get a text just before you start going out doing an event somewhere in the Baja Desert, and it says, check your bank balance. And you think this is a scam or anything, but you have a little bit of curiosity, so you go and check your bank balance, and your bank balance has gone to stratospheric levels. You've become instant billionaires, and you have no idea why you've got it or how you got the money. But you then get an email from this mystery benefactor, and it tells you that you can buy any car, bike, or machine that you want. But you're only allowed 3 of either a car, bike, or machine in your dream garage. So, with that in mind, what is the first car, bike, or machine you would like to have in your dream garage?
Trophy truck.
Trophy
All-wheel
truck.
drive trophy truck.
Yeah. All right.
We can't have 2 of those, so I'd probably just buy a boat.
A boat. What would you get? Oh, you can have a trophy.
Or a big complex building.
A complex building.
Yeah.
Wait, we're allowed to buy buildings? I thought we were only allowed to buy cars.
No. But no. Well, you can have a boat. I'll let you.
I would buy the semi.
For the trophy truck.
Yeah.
A semi. Okay. What would you get? Like a Peterbilt or a Mack or?
Peterbilt for sure.
Probably an old school one.
No.
Ooh.
No? Yeah. I think if we could have all of them, we would probably just have a bunch of trophy trucks. Maybe a T1 so we could go race Dakar in that.
Oh, that would be really cool. Like a T1 trophy truck. Like what would
a T1 team?
Yeah, T1 team would be sick.
That would be really cool. Like, would you actually would it be like a Ford Ranger? Would it be a Toyota Hilux, or would you like a Baja style truck? What would it be?
For T1?
Yes.
I don't know.
I'd base it off a trophy truck. I'd start bringing the American.
I'm a Honda guy, so I'd probably build a T1 Ridgeline.
Ooh, that's actually not bad.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. That sounds pretty good. Well, you're a bit unsure about it, Sarah. What would you have?
I would I feel like it's such a difference when you go to Dakar in the T1 class compared to what we have here in America and Baja for the trophy trucks.
Mm.
So I don't know. I think I would probably build something based here that was legal to go race Dakar, but bring something new to the field because I feel like it's so different that America has a lot to offer, I think, on the off-road side over there too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, those trophy trucks, they go hard. I know, because
Yeah.
I've seen Toby race a trophy truck doing not Dakar, doing Fink in a Mitsubishi, well, what we call Mitsubishi Triton here in Australia. I don't know if you've got Tritons in America, but yeah, they look nice. The Tritons look
Yeah.
nice, and Toby, when he was sponsored by Mitsubishi, like he made that thing fly. So yeah, I can see it
Yeah.
happening. I can see it actually happening. So yeah, that could work. What about
Yeah.
what about the second car, bike, or machine you'd have?
I don't know, man. I think we have everything we need already. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we would buy any more machines or
Okay, all
anything
right.
like that. I would
Well, I
probably,
think you've got
Tractor.
what's that?
Tractor.
yeah, I could buy an
Oh.
excavator probably.
A tractor and an excavator. All right, that's all right. And maybe, all right. I tell you what. Given that you've got everything you need right now, I think we can accept a Peterbilt for you, Ricky,
Oh.
an excavator. Yeah, go on, Sarah.
A jet.
Oh, what are we talking? Like a Learjet?
Something like that can get me from places A to B a lot faster so that I don't have to spend all this time traveling. I could just go racing more.
A bush plane.
Yeah, he wants a
Ooh.
bush plane.
That's what I want.
All right, a Peterbilt, excavator, and a bush plane, and obviously, yeah, a jet for you, Sarah. That's yep, I get it.
We try to balance it out. It's kind of like, all right, like for instance, he has a nice wake surf boat. And then right now I'm trying to get a pontoon boat. And then we have our little fishing boat. So it's like we don't need two of everything. So I'll get something and then he'll get something that offsets like everything we need. And so like I got the BMW, that's our fast little car to get around. I got the tow truck. He has a van and he has a Raptor to go out in the desert. And so we kind of like trade off with what we really need and we just use each other's stuff.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like even with all the money you get, like if you got that infinity budget, you probably don't need anything else because you got everything that you need right now. So I think
Yeah.
I think you've just made it self-explanatory for me. Thank you. Uh,
And we have the dream property already. The only thing is like Ricky was saying, he probably want like we'd get commercial buildings or something so we can keep that money coming in so we can
Oh.
keep funding a trophy truck program.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Look, I think it's a pretty decent. Well, you've got more than a decent garage or anything. You got Can-Ams, you got boats, you've
Motorcycles, boats, tractors, trailers, beds.
you got everything you
Everything.
need. You don't need me.
Yeah.
you don't. You don't need me at all. Well, what can I say? It's yeah, you've got everything that you need. You've just answered everything that I've wanted to ask you, and that's absolutely enjoyed it. And look, I appreciate you guys agreeing to come on the podcast because I've been wanting to get you guys on for a little bit, and I know you guys are very busy as well. Doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you giving me your time. So thank you so much. Good luck with what's going to happen for the remainder of 2025, and good luck for Dakar in 2026. I know you guys will be there again, and I'm pretty sure we'll catch up again when we do SBS's Dakar coverage. So thank you, and all the very best, and hopefully we'll get to see you in Australia in the foreseeable future. Maybe do the Fink Desert Race.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us and looking forward to catching up soon.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
for coming.
Connor.
Thanks, guys. See you
See
soon.
ya.
All right. Bye.
Well, it's not every day you get told that you already have what you need in your setup at home, which kind of caught me off guard in a good way. But then again, when your backyard is both the Arizona and Californian deserts and you have a mad garage setup to run your entire operation from, you're pretty much set to enjoy life to the fullest, which is exactly what Ricky and Sarah are doing. Now, since this recording, the pair have been rather busy with their racing exploits. Ricky is currently focused on chasing his first World Rally Raid Championship for Honda, where he currently sits equal second in the title chase, 35 points behind Australia's Daniel Chucky Sanders. At the time this episode is released, he is about to embark on the penultimate round of this year's championship, the BP Ultimate Rally Raid in Portugal and Spain, and it's a rally that could see Sanders claim his maiden world title with 1 round to spare. But Brabec is keen to prevent that and reel in the points deficit heading into the final round in Morocco in October. For Sara, it has been quite a busy time. Soon after finishing Dakar, she stayed in Saudi Arabia to begin her second season in the UAM E1 World Championship for Westbrook Racing. Both herself and Lucas Ordonez currently sit in 5th place in the championship with 2 rounds remaining. The next round coming up on the shores of Lagos in Nigeria on the weekend of October 4 to 5. And in May, she confirmed her 2026 plans for Dakar, joining the iconic British car brand Land Rover for their first campaign in many years under the Defender nameplate. She will join Rokas Pachuska and Dakar icon 14 times winner Stefan Peter-Hansel in a 3-car attack in the newly created stock category. My profound thanks to both Ricky and Sara for giving me their time in their busy schedules, and we wish them all the best for the 2026 edition of the Dakar Rally. You can follow them both on their socials, and you can find all the links in the show notes, as well as the Motor Dream podcast website. The website itself is at www.themotordream.com.au, where you can listen to past episodes, find more information on each of our guests, and also on the show itself. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram with the handle The Motor Dream, and you can start a conversation about your dream garage by using the hashtag The Motor Dream. Or better still, drop us a line and tell us on what your dream garage would be. Our email is themotordream@beastproductions.com.au. Lastly, make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or YouTube Music. Thanks for listening, and please remember to drive or ride safely out on the roads wherever you go. We'll be back for another episode a week out before the Bathurst 1000, and it's perfect timing because our next guest is the defending Porsche Carrera Cup Australia champion and Bathurst 1000 rookie for Team 18 Racing, Harry Jones. Until then, we'll see you next time on the Motor Dream Podcast. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Motor Dream Podcast. This series is proudly produced by Beast Productions.